temperature. Also find the following for the given conditions: saturation deficit, relative humidity, and dew point temperature. So at the end, the data is also given. Hopefully you have downloaded these slides and also the design manual. So you may have seen the data available for this job. So I will discuss at the end what data is given and then how to make the calculations. We'll discuss the procedure later in this design. So you will be given four conditions, that four air temperatures and correspondingly four vapor pressure values in millimeters of mercury. So these will be given to you. Now let us discuss the related theory to this design, and then we'll come to the data and procedure to complete this job. So first of all, you should be knowing what is hydrology. That is a scientific study of hydrological cycle. It is a branch of earth sciences dealing with the different are all, you can say, characteristics of water, whether it's concerned with its occurrence, movement, interaction with the environment, circulation. So everything relating to water is studied under this hydrology. As you can see the diagram showing hydrological cycle, you can see various parameters of hydrological cycle shown: precipitation falling over the land surface, and then part of it is becoming the overland flow joining a water body, and then we have the infiltration, groundwater flow, subsurface flow, and evaporation, evapotranspiration. So all these are the different components of the hydrological cycle. And this is part of the hydrology or hydrological study. Hydrology is the science of waters of the earth, its circulation and distribution over the globe, its physical and chemical properties, interaction with the physical and biological environment. So all this is known as hydrology. Hydrology is concerned with the circulation of water and its constituents through the hydrological cycle. It deals with the precipitation, evaporation, infiltration, groundwater flow, runoff, stream flow, and transport of substances dissolved or suspended in the flowing water. So everything relating to hydrological cycle is covered in this hydrology. It is earth sciences, and it encompasses the occurrence, distribution, movement, properties of waters of the earth. Knowledge of hydrology is fundamental in decision-making process where water is component of the system of concern. Like we construct the hydro related project, hydraulic structure. So water is, in that case, water is the main concern. So their hydrology must be used. Water and environment issues are inextricably linked, and it is important to clearly understand how water is affected by and how water affects the ecosystem manipulation. So there are different ways to define hydrology. So these have been presented in these two slides by different authors, how they have defined hydrology. So overall, hydrology deals with water, and everything relating to water is dealt under hydrology. Engineering hydrology is actually it is also part of hydrology, dealing with the engineering aspects of hydrology. It includes those segments of fields pertinent to planning, design and operation of engineering projects for the control and use of water. So use of hydrology for engineering purposes is known as the engineering hydrology. Significance of hydrology, because it deals with water, and water is the basic necessity for sustenance of life on earth. That's why it is very, very important. It is also used to deal with the extreme hydrological events like floods or droughts. Droughts means कहर साली जो है उसको डील करने के लिए भी इसे यूज करते हैं. To determine input data for the design of hydraulic structures. So in the lecture I mentioned clearly that this thing explained also that whether you are to construct a dam barrage, or or any other hydraulic structure like bridge as well, we need to have such a value of the discharge which will not damage that structure. That is called as a design flood of that structure. So to calculate that design flood, we need the hydrology. Similarly, sediment inflows calculation requires also the knowledge of hydrology. Then comes the metrology. So metrology is the science of atmosphere, and atmosphere is the gaseous envelope which surrounds the Earth's surface. Hopefully, in this week's lecture with Dr. Noor, you will learn more about hydrology and this metrology and metrological parameters, how they are measured. So metrology is the study of atmosphere, and what is atmosphere? It is a gaseous envelope which surrounds the Earth's surface. Metrology is the region of the region is affected by the certain climatic factors like amount and distribution of precipitation, occurrence of snow and ice, wind velocity, temperature, humidity. So these are called as a meteorological parameters, hydrological parameters, we call them climate parameters which affect the meteorology of a certain area. Importance of knowledge of meteorology. So where this knowledge is applied or used to study the cloud formation processes, it comes under this meteorology. Occurrence of precipitation, that also comes under meteorology. Thunderstorm formation, movement of rainstorms, weather forecast. So weather forecast especially is a very important field in today's world, especially if you have rainy season and the floods are expected, so their weather forecast becomes very, very important. So that is also covered under the meteorology. Like we have many meteorological departments in our country, which are called PMDs. We have one in Lahore and other cities as well. Similarly, in the world also, the Met departments are there. So they are mainly they are covering different measurement of the meteorological parameters and weather forecasting. As the meteorological phenomena are the forerunners of floods, like rainfall, other meteorological parameters, so they are the main they are the main responsibility as far as the floods are concerned. Flood warnings and forecasts may be issued in advance if one can make use of the meteorological conditions that are likely to produce floods. So that's why this meteorological knowledge is very, very important for weather forecasting, for flood forecasting, etc. Atmosphere. Atmosphere is a gaseous envelope surrounding the Earth's surface, as mentioned earlier. It consists of many gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. It has a mixture of gases actually and water vapors. The term is derived from the Greek word atmos, which is having the meaning of vapor of breath, and sphere. Sphere means a ball or a sphere. So it is actually a sphere or you can say a hemisphere having the vapors, that is called as atmosphere. Various components of atmosphere are troposphere. These are layers of atmosphere actually: stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. And in the next slide, in the figure, they are shown uh, their average thickness is also mentioned. That is 12 kilometer for the troposphere. It's also called as the hydrosphere. 50 kilometer for the stratosphere, 80 kilometer for the mesosphere, and 320 kilometer for the thermosphere. So these are the thicknesses of the different layers of atmosphere. So you can see this diagram. On the right side, we have different layers shown, as well as on the left side, and also their thicknesses are shown. So in the troposphere, if you see, we have the route for the aeroplane, and we have the other weather balloons, etc., flying there. And stratosphere and the meso and the thermosphere are the very high altitude layers of the atmosphere, and they have very considerable thicknesses as well. As well as temperature is concerned, so you can see that as we move to the higher altitude, temperature tends to decrease. And now on the left side, if you see the figure, so you are shown with the different layers of the atmosphere, troposphere having thickness of around 12 kilometers, about 7.5 miles, and similarly for other layers, thicknesses are shown. Now the most important layer for hydrologists, for the person studying hydrology, is the troposphere or hydrosphere. We will not go into detail of other layers because we are not concerned with that. The most concerned layer for us is the hydrosphere or troposphere. So it is a layer of atmosphere which is adjacent to the surface of the earth, as you can see in the figure again. So the troposphere is near its surface. Civil engineers, this is the most important atmospheric layer. All processes like cloud formation, thunderstorms, precipitation, they take place in this layer. So that's why it's the most important layer, because all the atmospheric water is contained within this layer, and all important phenomena leading to precipitation, they occur within this layer. What is atmospheric water? It is the water available in the atmosphere, that is troposphere or hydrosphere. It is in the form of water vapors, ice crystals, clouds, and precipitating particles. So these are different forms in which water is present in the atmosphere. The quantity of water in the atmosphere is approximately 12,900 cubic kilometers, which is about 0.001% of the total global water and 0.5% of the volume of atmosphere. So you can well imagine the volume of atmosphere, and the water is only 0.5% of that, which is 0.001% of the total global water. Next is the vaporization. So vaporization is the reverse of precipitation or rainfall. It is a process of transformation of water from liquid state to vapor state. The process of vaporization at global scale is shown in this figure, which is showing that from various surfaces evaporation takes place, like from the plants it is evapotranspiration, from the bare soil it is evaporation, that is evaporation from the land surface, evaporation from the surface of water is there. There is evaporation from the air as well. There is evaporation from the ocean. So different types of the evaporation depending on the type of earth surfaces are shown in this diagram. Vapor pressure. Pressure exerted by the water vapors in air is known as vapor pressure. Its commonly used units are millimeters of mercury. So this graph shows the relationship between air temperature and saturation vapor pressure. This is what you have to plot using the data. So you will be given temperature and saturation vapor pressure, and you will end up having this sort of graph with you. So this shows that with the increase in temperature, the saturation vapor pressure of the air increases. Now what is saturation vapor pressure? It is the vapor pressure when the air is fully saturated at a given temperature. So when the air is full of moisture and no further vapors can be added to the air, so at that time the pressure exerted by the water vapors in the air is known as saturation vapor pressure. When the air is fully saturated with the vapors, it is a measure of the moisture holding capacity of air. So as the temperature it increases with the increase in temperature, as shown in the previous figure. So in this figure, if you see, as you increase the temperature of the air mass, its capacity to hold the moisture increases. More spaces are available to increase the saturation vapor pressure of the air. Next is the saturation deficit. The difference between the saturation vapor pressure and vapor pressure of air at a given temperature, this is known as a saturation vapor pressure. The difference of saturation vapor pressure and vapor pressure of the air. So this difference tells that how much further moisture can be added to the air at a given temperature at a given place. So delta E is the saturation deficit, ES is the saturation vapor pressure, and E is the actual vapor pressure or vapor pressure of the air mass at a given temperature. Humidity is the presence of moisture in the air. Humidity in the atmosphere can be assessed by vapor pressure of air. So normally it is expressed in terms of relative humidity. It is a ratio between vapor pressure and saturation vapor pressure of the air at a given temperature, and it is expressed in percentage. So if for any air mass at a place, if the vapor pressure becomes equal to saturation vapor pressure, then there will be 100%. Then comes the dew point temperature. So it is the temperature at which the air mass just becomes saturated if cooled at constant pressure with moisture neither added nor removed. So if you have any air mass having certain moisture in that, vapors in that, if you start cooling that air, start reducing its temperature, a point will come when the so when the temperature of the air becomes lesser and the air becomes fully saturated, that is called as a dew point temperature. Remember this, if you have any air mass having certain vapors in that, having certain vapor pressure, that make it saturated. One is you keep on adding the moisture into that, the vapors into that, a point will come when the air will become the saturated air and the vapor pressure becomes the saturated vapor pressure. You don't add any vapors to the air, the point will come again that the air will become saturated, and at that point the air temperature will be, air pressure will be saturated vapor pressure, and that temperature is known as the dew point temperature. So once the air is cooled naturally to this temperature, dew drops are formed. The vapors of the air they are transformed into dew drops, and this usually happens at late night when the temperature falls significantly. तो आमतौर पे जो लेट नाइट में जब टेम्परेचर बहुत ही कम हो जाता है तो एयर में जो मॉइस्चर होता है वो ड्यू ड्रॉप्स में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है, जो कि बाद में ज़मीन पर आ जाते हैं या डिफरेंट जो क्रॉप्स वगैरह है उस पर गिर जाते हैं. तो इस टेम्परेचर को जिसमें वेपर जो है ड्यू ड्रॉप्स में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है, इज कॉल्ड एज द ड्यू पॉइंट टेम्परेचर. Now, this is all about the related theory to this design. So let us discuss, let us see what data is going to be provided to you, and then the procedure for the calculation work, and then the results, etc. we will be discussing now. So carefully listen this all and try to note it down somewhere if you want, especially the important points, so that you can later on have a go through to it and complete your calculation work. मिड में बना दें तो कोशिश करें such you select such a scale that this relationship spreads all over the given graph page. तो इस तरह का आपने स्केल सिलेक्ट करना है. तो इस डाटा को यूज करते हुए एक्स एक्सिस पे टेम्परेचर रखेंगे और वाई एक्सिस पे सैचुरेशन वेपर प्रेशर रखेंगे. So in this way you will end up having this graph and the line. Try to show the points, all the points, and try to make a bold line, so that, and you should make it by lead pencil, not by any other, so that if something goes wrong you can rectify it, correct it, erase it, and accordingly make correction. Now the second type of the data which is given to you, that is if you see this table, so you will be given 4 conditions, 1, 2, 3, 4, and accordingly you will be given air temperature and the vapor pressure, not the saturated vapor pressure. तो दूसरा जो आपको डाटा दिया हुआ है वो 4 कंडीशंस हैं, हर कंडीशन पे टेम्परेचर और वेपर प्रेशर की वैल्यू दी हुई है. तो सेकंड स्टेप ये होगा कि यू हैव टू प्लॉट दीज कंडीशन ऑन द ग्राफ। तो आप देख सकते हैं, इफ यू कैन सी दीज आर रेड लाइंस, रेड डॉट सॉरी, सो दीज आर द कंडीशन प्लॉटेड। एक तो ये कर्व आप बना लेंगे पहले जो डाटा से देखते हुए। तो दूसरा डाटा है टेम्परेचर वर्सेस वेपर प्रेशर, उससे आप क्या करेंगे, 4 पॉइंट्स लगाएंगे इस ग्राफ के ऊपर। पहला पॉइंट क्या है, जो कि 11 टेम्परेचर पे है और 7.9 वेपर प्रेशर पे। इसी तरह दूसरे पॉइंट आप प्लॉट कर लेंगे इसी ग्राफ के ऊपर टेम्परेचर और वेपर प्रेशर को यहाँ उसको देखते हुए। यू विल प्लॉट द 2 पॉइंट डाटा, एक्चुअली एक्स एंड वाई डाटा। एक्स एक्सिस पे जो है वो टेम्परेचर है 11 डिग्री और वाई एक्सिस पे वेपर प्रेशर है दैट इज 7.9। तो इस तरह आप इसको प्लॉट कर लेंगे। इसी तरह बाकी पॉइंट्स भी आप इस पे प्लॉट कर लेंगे। सो इन दिस वे यू हैव टू प्लॉट दीज पॉइंट्स ऑन द सैचुरेशन कर्व। आफ्टर दैट यू हैव टू कंप्लीट दिस टेबल। अब इस टेबल पे अगर आप आ जाएं तो पहला जो है ये आपको ऑलरेडी दिया हुआ है सेकंड डाटा में। ए टेम्परेचर इज गिवन दैट इज 11, 17, 21, 25। तो ये आपको गिवन है। पहला कॉलम जो है सीरियल नंबर, दूसरा कॉलम आपको गिवन है, थर्ड कॉलम इज ऑल्सो गिवन। तो ये गिवन डाटा है, ये भी इसमें दिया हुआ है दैट इज 7.9, 10.8, 13 एंड 18.4। so this you will fill in the third column 7.9, 10.8, इसी तरह बाकी जो था 13 and 18.4. Now the remaining columns you have to fill. You have to find saturation vapor pressure, you have to find the saturation deficit, you have to find the relative humidity, you have to find the dew point temperature. तो ये चीजें आपने कहाँ से find करनी है, from the saturation curve. Now how to find the saturation vapor pressure? What you will do, you will draw a vertical line, dotted line passing through these points, red points. For example, अगर आप यहाँ vertical line draw करें जो कि इस point से plot करें, it will touch the curve at some point, ठीक है। इसी तरह आप इस यहाँ से vertical line draw करें, वो इस point से गुजर के इस curve को यहाँ पे touch करेगी। इसी तरह बाकी points जो है दो, उससे भी you have to draw a vertical line, dotted line passing from the data point and touching the curve, and corresponding to the point where it touches the curve on the left hand side you will draw a horizontal line. तो जहाँ पे ये जाके टच करेगी लाइन कर्व को, वहाँ से आप हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन लगाएंगे लेफ्ट की तरफ, एंड यू विल रीड आउट द वेपर सैचुरेटेड वेपर प्रेशर। तो ये तरीका है सैचुरेशन वेपर प्रेशर निकालने का हर डाटा पॉइंट के लिए। दोबारा इसमें सुन लें, वर्टिकल लाइन ड्रॉ करें, पॉइंट से गुजरेगी, इट विल जॉइन द कर्व, फ्रॉम देयर ड्रॉ हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन टू द लेफ्ट एंड रीड आउट द सैचुरेशन वेपर प्रेशर वैल्यू फ्रॉम देयर। इसी तरह बाकियों से भी आप पढ़ लेंगे वर्टिकल लाइन ड्रॉ करके। सो यू विल इन दिस वे फाइंड द सैचुरेशन वेपर प्रेशर वैल्यूज। तो इस तरह यू विल हैव ऑल दीज 4 सैचुरेशन वेपर प्रेशर वैल्यूज। उसके बाद आपने सैचुरेशन डेफिसिट, वो क्या होगा, कॉलम 4 माइनस कॉलम 3, ES माइनस E will give you the saturation deficit. Then you have to find the relative humidity. Simply it is E over ES, column 3 over column 4 into 100. So in percentage you will get the relative humidity. Dew point temperature, how to find it out? Again you will go to the curve. तो ड्यू पॉइंट टेम्परेचर कैसे निकालना है, तो इसके लिए आप इसी पॉइंट के कोरिस्पॉन्डिंग इस कर्व से एक हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन ड्रॉ करेंगे। So if you see, it's also mentioned in this diagram, in this procedure. Draw a horizontal line from draw a horizontal line from point 1 to the left. It may intersect the saturation curve. Note down the temperature from the intersection point. It is a dew point temperature. तो जिस तरह आपने the way you have found the saturation vapor pressure by drawing a vertical line passing from the point and touching the curve, and then to the left you have to read the saturation vapor pressure. Similarly, from this point draw a horizontal line touching the curve, and then corresponding to this draw a vertical line, towards the temperature axis and read out the temperature from there. तो ड्यू पॉइंट टेम्परेचर फाइंड करने के लिए आपने क्या करना है, हर पॉइंट पे जाके एक हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन ड्रॉ करनी है, ये भी डॉटेड लाइन लगानी है। तो ये हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन जहाँ जाके टच करेगी इस कर्व को, उसके कोरिस्पॉन्डिंग आपने एक वर्टिकल लाइन ड्रॉ करनी है जिससे टेम्परेचर की वैल्यू पढ़ लेनी है। तो यहाँ से अगर मैं ड्रॉ करूँ तो ये 6 डिग्री सेल्सियस आ रहा है पहले पॉइंट के लिए। इसी तरह दूसरे के लिए अगर मैं यहाँ से लाइन ड्रॉ करूँ हॉरिजॉन्टल और यहाँ से टेम्परेचर, तो ये 11 डिग्री सेल्सियस आएगा। इसी तरह तीसरे पॉइंट पे देखें तो जहाँ हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन ड्रॉ करें फिर इससे पढ़ लें तो ये 14 डिग्री। तो इस तरह जो भी वैल्यू आपके पास आएगी वो आपने यहाँ से पढ़ लेनी है। So in this way you will fill this last column, that is the dew point temperature. So this is how you will make first of all the saturation curve, then you will plot the data points, and then you will find the saturation vapor pressure by plotting the vertical line through the data points, meeting the curve, and then horizontal line toward the vapor pressure axis and find saturation vapor pressure from there. Then find the saturation deficit simply by column 4 minus column 3, and then relative humidity by column 3 or column 4, and then eventually dew point temperature simply by from again the curve, plotting the horizontal line from the points, meeting the curve, and then vertical line to the temperature axis, find the temperature. At the end, the results should be presented in this table already shown, this one. And finally you have to comment on the results. So you have to comment on 3 things about the computed saturation deficit. You have to comment with the increase in temperature, what is happening to the saturation deficit? Is it increasing or decreasing, or it has no definite trend? Accordingly you should comment, and also comment on the possible reason. सैचुरेशन डेफिसिट जो है टेम्परेचर बढ़ने से बढ़ रहा है या कम हो रहा है, उस पर कमेंट करना है। अगर कोई खास ट्रेंड नहीं है तो उसकी रीज़न बतानी है। इसी तरह रिलेटिव ह्यूमिडिटी जो है टेम्परेचर बढ़ने से बढ़ रही है कम हो रही है, ये आपने बताना है, और इसकी भी रीज़न जो पॉसिबल है। ड्यू पॉइंट टेम्परेचर जो है वो टेम्परेचर बढ़ने से या कम होने से कम हो रहा है बढ़ रहा है, इस पर कमेंट करना है, एंड ऑल्सो द पॉसिबल रीज़न ऑफ दैट। So you have to comment about the results, comment in terms of effect of temperature on these parameters, and accordingly the possible reasons. So this is about today's design job 1. Now I will move to the question answer session, and if you have any question you can ask before I end this meeting. Yes, any questions from your side?
सर डेटा वही यूज करना जो मैनुअल में दिया हुआ है आपने हमें?
जी, डेटा वही यूज करना है जो मैनुअल में दिया हुआ है या यहाँ स्लाइड्स में दिया है, ठीक है?
एक्सक्यूज मी सर, एक मसला था, वो हमें ये हार्ड फॉर्म में मैनुअल नहीं मिल सका, किस रिपीट हो गई।
चलें आप इस कर लें, ठीक है
सर। आप हमें अगर पीडीएफ कल के लिए एक माह बाद सुना लेंगे लैब से।
पीडीएफ में मैंने भेज दिया हुआ है, आपको मिला नहीं है?
मैं चेक कर लेता हूँ, शायद आधा हो।
लिंक भेजा हुआ, उस लिंक में ये भी पढ़ा है और इसकी लेक्चर स्लाइड भी, इसकी स्लाइड्स भी पढ़ी।
चलिए ठीक है सर।
सीआर
या सर वो आपने शेयर कर दिया हुआ लिंक काफी दिनों का मेरे ख्याल में।
तो वो जाहिर है जिसको नहीं मिला वो खोलेगा तो मिलेगा ना, खुद ब खुद तो आपके पास नहीं आ जाएगा। तो वो आप अपने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे जाएं, जो शामिल उसमें नहीं है वो सीआर से कहीं वो ऐड कर देंगे। उस ग्रुप में ही मैंने लिंक शेयर किया है, उसको आप क्लिक करेंगे तो आपके पास वो फोल्डर खुल जाएगा, वहां से आप डाउनलोड कर लेंगे, ठीक है?
यस सर, नोटेड, थैंक यू।
जी, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?
सर थोड़ी सी वॉइस डिस्टॉर्शन की वजह से ड्यू पॉइंट टेम्परेचर फाइंड कैसे करते हैं इसकी समझ नहीं आई, एक दफा रिपीट करना काइंडली।
ठीक है। अच्छा, ड्यू पॉइंट टेम्परेचर के लिए ये है कि आप ये देखें, आपने ये ग्राफ बना लिया, ठीक है
सर? स्लाइड शो करवा दें सर, स्क्रीन शेयर कर दें काइंडली।
आप हो रही हैं शो?
नो सर, अभी तक तो नहीं हुई।
होनी चाहिए, स्क्रीन तो शेयर है ऑलरेडी।
यस सर, अब आ रही है।
यस सर, अब हो गई है।
चलो अच्छा, ये ग्राफ आपने बना लिया, उसके बाद आपने इसको पॉइंट्स लगा लिए, ठीक है, ये तो समझ आ गई है ना।
हाँ जी सर, ये समझ आ गई है।
चलो इस पॉइंट से आपने एक हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन ड्रॉ करनी है जो कि इस कर्व को मिलेगी, ठीक है, ओके। जहां जाके ये लाइन मिलेगी
ओके
कर्व
सर।
को, उसके कोरिस्पॉन्डिंग आपने टेम्परेचर पढ़ लेना है वर्टिकल लाइन ड्रॉ करके,
ओके ओके सर, वो
ठीक है। समझ
सैचुरेशन में हम पहले वर्टिकल लगा के फिर हॉरिजॉन्टल लगाते
वर्टिकल
हैं।
लगा के हॉरिजॉन्टल पे आएंगे, इसमें हॉरिजॉन्टल लगा के फिर वर्टिकल पे आना है
ओके
आपने।
ओके सर, ओके,
ड्यू पॉइंट
थैंक यू सर।
टेम्परेचर आ जाएगा।
ओके।
जी, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? जी बेटा, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? तो ट्राई टू कंप्लीट दिस डिज़ाइन बाय नेक्स्ट वीक। इसको कोशिश करें घर बैठ के कंप्लीट कर लें। अगर कोई इश्यू होगा तो हम इसको नेक्स्ट टाइम भी नेक्स्ट डिज़ाइन से पहले आई विल डिस्कस इट, ताकि उसको क्लियर किया जाए, फिर नेक्स्ट डिज़ाइन पे जाएंगे। ठीक है जी, so now I'm going to end this meeting. So we meet again next week, and by that time we should complete this job, and we'll discuss if something is not understood by you.